Kashi and Vaji added to Magadh, and right, make or making, which are made the Magadh, making it most powerful, right, in the Ganga's valley, right, or valley of the Ganga. He built, Ajatashatru built the fort of Rajgriha and a watch fort called Jaldurg. Right, on the banks of the Ganga. He was Vedic follower, right, and he convened first Buddhist council. Right. So name of the place, Satparni. So where the Satparni? So Satparni is near Rajgriha. So what is the Rajgriha? Rajgriha was the capital of Magadh. So next ruler was Udayan. Right, who had ruled from 460 BC to 440 BC. 460 BC to 440 BC. So Ajatashatru was succeeded by his son Udayan. And so Udayan was son of Ajatashatru. So Udayan's reign is important because he laid the foundation of the city of Patliputra at the Ganga, right, at the what you can consider right, and then shifted the capital from Rajgriha to Patliputra. So Udayan was further succeeded by Aniruddha, right? Aniruddha was succeeded by Munda, and Munda was succeeded by Nag Dashak, right? And Nag Dashak. So, but unfortunately, all these were weak, right, rulers, and therefore people had gone against, or the citizens had angered, right, of the Haryanka rule, and citizens have revolted against them, and then later on the another dynasty gets start, right? So he was the son of Ajatshatu, right? Founded city of Patliputra, city of Anantha, right, who was succeeded by Munda, and who was succeeded by Naga Dasak. Naga Dasak. Right. But all these were, right, all these were weak. They're not much as strong as Uday, Ajatshatu, or Bimbisar were. Okay, fine. Right. On sides. So these were the packs. Means what? Naga had slaughtered, Munda had slaughtered Aniruddha, Aniruddha had slaughtered. म्हणजे काय ह्याने ह्याला मारलं ह्याने ह्याला मारलं ह्याने ह्याला मारलं, right? So that would be the case you can always consider. कत्तल केली त्यांनी. ते काय उदयन जेव्हा आपण तेच केलं होतं. Anyway, in this particular case, for citizens were angry with Haryanka rule, right? And therefore citizens have revolted against them, right? See, Nagadasak was very, very unworthy to the rule. So the people have got disgusted, and people themselves have elected another person as a king, Rather, that person was the minister of the Nagadasak. Right? So you can consider the next dynasty as Shishunga dynasty. Shishunga dynasty. Shishunga dynasty. Right. Now, in this case, right, so Shishunga dynasty was ruled from 412 BC to 344 BC. Right. So Shishunga was minister of last king Naga Dasak. Right. So people elected Shishunga as king. Right. And in this way, Shishunga had established the new dynasty, which was called as Shishunga dynasty. Right. So what was the most important achievement of Shishunga? Right. So Shishunga had destructed the Pradyota dynasty of Avanti. So he had attacked Avanti and destroyed or destructed that particular dynasty or that king, right, called Pradyota dynasty, right? So it was the Pradyota dynasty which was rather their what we can consider the Pratyota was cured, right, from jaundice suffering by Bimbisar. Right? So he had helped it, and now from his successors, minister have attacked that particular point, that particular Mahajanpad, right? So, and then after destroying the Pradyota dynasty of Avanti, he brought Avanti to the Magad, and in this way, he had ended the rivalry between Magad and Avanti, which was more than 100 years. Right. So this is the case which you can consider about Shishunga's the most important achievements. So Shishunga was succeeded by Kalashok, right, which was also called as Kalavarna. So his reign is important because who's Kalashok, who convened the second Buddhist council, fine, and then Shishunga dynasty get terminated at this point. So Shishunga and only his son you can consider. So these were the only two things in this particular dynasty. Fine. So important achievement. Important achievement of Shishunga was destruction of Pradyota dynasty of Avanti, right? And he brought Avanti to Magad. Now you can consider how powerful Magad had become. Fine. So Shishunga succeeded by Kala Ashoka. Kala Ashoka. Right. So Kala Ashoka had convinced. Right. So as we have considered these many things for Shishunga, right? So for Kala Shunga's ruling, we can consider only this one, right? Only one thing, which is he convened second Buddhist council, right, in Vaishali. In Vaishali. So originally Vaishali was the part of Vajji, but it had become the part of Magadh, right? During the reign of Ajatashatru. So Ajatashatru had brought it to the Magadh. Fine. This is what you can consider about the Vaishali. The second council of Buddhist, right, or Buddhist second council, right? And then later on, you come across Nanda dynasty. Nanda dynasty. So Nanda dynasty was from 344 BC to 323 BC. Now you are coming very close to the Chandragupta Maurya. Right. Now see what had happened. The Shishunga dynasty was overthrown by Mahapadma and established a new line of kings known as Nandas. Right. Saru Shatrantaki, as well as Ugrasena, that is owner of a huge army. And he was owner of a huge army. Fine. So the Puranas call Mahapadma as Ekranti, that is the sole monarch. So he seemed to have overthrown all the dynasties which ruled at that time or at the time of Shishunga. So he is often described as the first empire builder of Indian history. Then there was Sagya dynasty, and he had brought everyone to the Magadh. Right? And that is the reason why day by day Magadh was becoming much more powerful. Right? So Mahapadma was succeeded by his 8 sons. Right? And the name of that 8th son was Dhananand. Right? If you have seen the serial Chandragupta, so you must have come across Dhananand. So Dhananand was the 8th son of Mahapadmanabh. Right? So Mahapadmanabh was succeeded by his 8th son, Dhananand. So Dhananand was again the last king of that particular dynasty. Right? So Dhananand was the last king of the Nanda dynasty. But during the rule of Dhananand, there was invasion of Alexander. Invasion of Alexander. You know, the Macedonian. You must have heard about Sikandar, who had on the march of conquering the world. Right. So who was having vision of world conquest? That is Alexander. So we will be considering it in the invasion by the foreigners. Right. So as you know, as I said, the Nanda or the Mahapadmanabh was considered as owner of the huge army. So later on, Dhananand had a huge army, and his army was consisting of 20,000 cavalries, 2 lakh infantry, 2,000 chariots, and 3,000 elephants. So this much huge army you can consider about Dhananand. Right. So it was the case why Alexander have come so prepared, right? And why the Chanakya was looking Dhananand to stop the Alexander. Right. So Dhananand was really having that power, so he could have easily stopped Alexander. But right? So that was the case, and then the Nanda dynasty came to an end, right? Which was ended by Chandragupta Maurya, and Chandragupta Maurya had established another dynasty called Maurya dynasty, right? Or it was called Maurya period. Fine. So some of the things you can consider about the Nanda dynasty. Right. So Shishunga dynasty, Shishunga dynasty overthrown by Mahapadma, right, and established called Nanda dynasty, right? So Nanda dynasty. Fine. So Mahapadma was known as Sarva Kshatrantaki. Sarva Kshatrantaki means what? Uprooter of all the Kshatriyas. And Ugrasen. Means what? Owner of huge army, right? Owner of huge army. So according to Pali text, it is called owner of huge army, and according to Puranas, he was called Sarvakshatrantaki. Right? So always keep in mind these two words. Fine. So he was also called as Yakrati. So what is meaning of Yakrati? Right, the sole monarch. It is the sole monarch. Right. So this is what you can consider. Right. So he described, Mahapadmanabh was described as the first empire builder. Of Indian history. of Indian history. Or Indian history. Because why it is called? Because he had overthrown all the dynasties, right, which were at the time of Shishunga. So at the time of Shishunga, all other dynasties have been overthrown by Padmanabh. If anybody wants, you can. Done? Okay, fine. So Mahapadma he was succeeded by Mahapadma was succeeded by called Dhana. You can consider last king. Now Dhananand had commanded Dhananand had commanded the huge army. Commanded a huge army. So what is there in this army? Right. So cavalry, infantry, right. So 20,000 cavalry, 2 lakh infantry, 2,000 chariots, 2,000 chariots, and 3,000 elephants. And 3,000 elephants. Right. So this is what about Nanda dynasty. But so during this Alexander, invaded India from northeast, invaded northeast India. Okay, we will be considering about Alexander separately, right? Because it was not only Alexander. So your question comes in how Alexander came to know about the wealth of India, right? So that would be the case, and then obviously then Nanda dynasty came to end. Nanda dynasty came to end. Nanda dynasty came to an end by Chandragupta Maurya. Chandragupta Maurya, right, who established new dynasty. Fine. So now you can consider the Chandragupta's period. So obviously that period must be from later on somewhere from 325 or 322 BC. Right, at that time Nanda dynasty was ended. But prior to that, right, you have to consider from Haryanka dynasty to this period around 175 years. Sorry, 275 years. Right. So in these almost 300 years, some parallel things had been happened. So very first parallel thing you can consider, as we have considered, Bimbisar had the Bimbisar was the contemporary to the Gautam Buddha, and at the same time or during the same duration, the Mahavir was also there. Right? So you have to consider Buddhism and Jainism, and that are called religious movements, right? That are called religious movements. So next thing we can consider is religious movements. Right. So what is the time period of religious movements? So you can consider from 600 BC to 400 BC. So, prior to this, there was pre-Vedic literature. Before that, there was Rig-Vedic literature or Vedic literature. Right. Now, this is again a kind of literature. Only thing is that this is called religious movement, right? Or the Buddhism and Jainism, or Buddhist text and Jainist text. There were various religious movements, wise Buddhism, Jainism, fine. So they were born and grew up in the post-Vedic period. So as the period of second urbanization you can consider, or the age of Buddha is considered. Now why the religious movements have caused, why religious movements have emerged? Right. So very first question comes in here. Why religious movements caused? Right. Or simply you can consider what are the causes. So very first cause you can consider, as we have already considered, the Vedic philosophy had lost its purity. Right. Vedic philosophy had lost its purity, or the original purity. And then the Vedic religion had become very complex. It has started degenerated into superstitions, dogmas, and rituals. So we have considered the latter Vedic period had become the ritual, right? So this would be the case. Third point you can consider the supremacy of the Brahmanas, which had created unrest, right? So supremacy of Brahmanas had created unrest among the society. Also, Kshatriyas reacted against Brahmanical domination, right? Then the revolt goes on increase, right? So next point you can consider is introduction of a new agriculture economy, right? So that has also changed some of the views, right? And one more thing here you can consider the desire of Vaishyas to improve their social position. So these are some of the points you can always consider as far as the really the causes of religious movements are concerned, right? Why the religious movement was considered as or they have caused, right? So these are some of the reasons. And then what were the religious movements? So two things: Buddhism, right? So that will be the case. You can always in this one, which religious movements you can consider? So you can consider Buddhism and Jainism.